Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can make a thumbnail template for your Etsy store, and I'm also going to show you how you can put a banner along the bottom or along the side and some text on it so that you can use that for your lead image, so it will make your listing stand out a lot more when people are scrolling through Etsy. So like I say, you can use it for resizing, so you've got the perfect size for Etsy, and you can use this for making your lead image as well. So what I'm going to do in Photoshop, I'm going to go File, New, and I'm going to use the dimensions 2500 by 2000 pixels at 72 dpi. So I think the recommended Etsy size is actually a little bit bigger than that, but this works absolutely fine. The images, if you've got really good quality images, they look absolutely fine. And another reason why I do this size is because if you're going fast and you're uploading 10 thumbnails at once, it makes it a lot quicker to get them uploaded as well. So you can go bigger than that. I think the ratio is 4:5, so if you want to increase it and you want to take the time to wait for those to upload, you can go ahead and do that, but this one works fine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit create. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to switch the eye off there on the layers. So this is the layers panel over here. If you don't see that, just go to window, make sure you've got layers selected, and you can uncheck any of the other ones that you don't need, and that'll give you more space over here. So what I also did is I took a couple of pictures from my iPhone real fast. In another video I'll show you how to make these mock-ups for mugs, which is really straightforward and easy. I just took these pictures on my old iPhone 6, so nice and easy to do, and I've saved these as JPEGs here. So I've got Mock 1 and Mock 2. I'm going to drag and drop these into the canvas area, so you can see my iPhone is taking them and they're not the right ratio. And as I've dropped them in here, this is in what we call free transform already, so I can grab these handles and I can pull them out. So I can blow it up a little bit by just simply dragging it out further and zooming it in, and I can center it there like that. Once I'm happy with it, the positioning, I press return or enter and it drops it in, and then the next one comes in as well. So because I selected 2 images, you could select a whole load of images and drag them all in, and as they come in they'll be in free transform, and then you can just grab them like this, pull them out to fill the canvas, position them. Of course, if it's a lot bigger than the canvas area, then you can move them around and position them. Press return or enter when you're done like that. If you just or if you want to readjust it or anything, highlight the layer there. The easiest way to put it back into free transform is press Command T or Control T on Windows. That puts it back in. I'm just going to press return to go back out of that. The other way you can do it is highlight the layer and then go edit and free transform, okay? But it's much quicker to use the keyboard shortcut, entirely up to you. So we've got 2 mock-ups in there. I can use these little eye icons to switch them on and off and see how they're looking, okay? That one I'm going to use the move tool here, and I'm just going to drag it up a little bit because I want to put a banner at the bottom. So to do that, I'm going to use this Marquee Tool here, which is the second one down. It may show a circle or something there. If you right click, you can see you can change, so just make sure you got it on the rectangular one. And then down the bottom here, I'm just going to click and drag out till I fill that whole the whole width of the canvas there. Let go, and then I'm going to go layer, new fill layer, solid color, click OK, and then I'm going to make it red so it's nice and bright red like that. Now you can make it any color you want, so if you want to change the color after you do that, you can double click on this colored thumbnail here and you can make it any color. So if you want to match it up with the color of your store or anything like that, you can do that. You can also paste a hex code in down here. You can also pick a color. If you move your cursor away from this color picker box, then we can pick a color by just using the dropper on the canvas area there, and you can pick any color, so you can make it match your designs as well if you wanted to do that. Okay, well, I'm just going to cancel it and leave it red for now. Then what we can do is we can select our text tool over here. We can put some text in, so we can put personalized mug on sale now, or whatever message you want. Now that font looks awful. what I'm going to do is highlight. I highlighted all the font there, still with my text tool selected, and then there's this little coloured box up here. I'm just going to switch this onto black first. Then what I'm going to do is change the font, because this is totally the wrong font. So up here I'm going to use this drop down, and I can just use my arrow keys to scroll through all the different fonts that I've got on my computer. Now your fonts will look different to mine because the fonts have to be installed on your computer, and I'll show you, well, I'll tell you in fact, a couple of places you can get fonts from is the Fonts and Font Squirrel or Google Fonts. Just go ahead and download those fonts, and then once they're on your computer they'll show up within Photoshop. Okay, you just once you download the fonts, you double click them on Mac, they'll install. I think you can double click them on Windows as well actually, and then click install. Then they'll be within your Photoshop. So if you want more fonts, you can do that. I'm going to select the center justify there so that it stays in the center. I'm going to drag and move it. By the way, I just selected my move tool there to do that. And there's two ways you can move text. I may as well tell you while I'm here. When you've got the text tool selected, if I put my cursor there, hopefully you can see it's like a tool cursor icon. If I drag my cursor away from the text, you see it changes to like a crosshair. That means I can grab and move this text around, okay? But it's difficult to center the text by doing it that way. That's just really for a quick move. If I select the move tool up here, this crosshairs tool, and I drag the text around, you see I start getting these lines, these pink lines start showing up. So that means they're like guidelines, and it snaps to certain places. So it's snap into the center. So I now know that my text is in the center. If I go back to the text tool, I got it center justified. So now if I triple click on there, it highlights it all. And then if I hover over these two little T's at the top, I can drag left and right, and I can size that text up, and I know that it's bang in the middle, so that it's going to look right. Okay, but it's not centered on that banner, so I'm just going to drag it down a little bit. Another thing you may want to do when you're adding text to these banners, if I triple click again to highlight it all, if I press the Alt key or Option key on my Mac, I can use the arrow keys, and I can change the spacing in between the letters to really fill that area up there and get the most of that area. Okay, so that's very basically how we do that. Another thing I like to do is put a drop shadow on there, which you won't see much on this one. I'll show you how to do it. When you've got like white backgrounds and stuff, it just gives it that nice little bit of depth, and it looks like a nice banner on there. So to do that, the layer that's the color fill, if we just double click in this little blank part of it here, just double click, that brings up this layer styles box, and then down here we've got drop shadow. Check the drop shadow, hit OK, then double click the words drop shadow there, and then over here we can kind of customize our drop shadow a little bit. And you can, I don't know if you can see that very well, but this box, it kind of shows you how it's looking. And the angle here, I can swing this round, and I'm sure it's probably hard to see for you, but I can see which direction the shadow is pointing in. So from here, most likely, if I get it on 90, then it's going to be just shining that way, which means it's going to show. So I'm going to click OK. What I'm going to do is turn this white layer on and just turn these off, and you can see it's down here now. So let's just go back into drop shadow here, and you can mess around with this yourself, like distance. You can see it coming right out now. Okay, you don't want it too much. The spread, the size. Okay, where's the opacity? Right there. So you can make it darker or lighter. So let's make it a little darker. Let's bring the size down a little bit. Or distance, sorry. Something like that. Spread a bit more. Okay, something like that. Have a little play around with it yourself. Get it how you want it. Like I say, on this one, I mean, that actually is a bit too harsh there. But on the darker ones, it doesn't look so good. Once you get it just right, it does give it a real nice depth to it. So there, what we can do, if I highlight both of these layers now, and then I come down here and click this folder icon, it's put it into a little folder, so when I click the eye now, I can switch the whole thing on and off like that. So I could rename this layer now. See where it says group 1? If I double click in there, I can change the word in there, so I can delete that, and I'll call this bottom banner. Okay, you can call it whatever you want, just so you know what it is, and you can turn it on and off then. Okay, and then what we could do, if we wanted to, we could do a side one. These side ones look very good, so depending on the product or whatever, let's drag it right down. Same process. Let's go layer, new fill layer, solid color, hit OK, make it whatever color you want. Let's go red again, hit OK. Like that. And then here you can put information, or what I'm going to do, what I would do is I'd use my move tool and I'd bring this mock up over here like this, so it's in the center. But then again, we can put some text on here. You know, Trump 2020, Trump 2020. Now let's just move this layer up because it's below the color there. Let's move this over, select my text tool, drop it down. Okay, now let's see how this looks in white, because it might look better in white. There you go, that looks pretty good. Okay, perhaps I would close up the, you know, I mean, the wording isn't so important here, the fact that you can actually do this. Okay, and then I'd highlight those two. Excuse me, and then I'll go side banner. Okay, so you can get creative with these, and then what you would do is just go file, save as, save it as a JPEG, and then you've got your lead image there. Now of course, you know, you'd probably want to spend a little bit more time, go and have a look on Etsy, see what other banners look like, see what other thumbnails, if you can find any, and then just kind of replicate that but make them a little bit better and put your own spin on it. You can add your logo down here. Like I say, you can change this any color you want, so maybe white might look good, you know, perhaps not, but you know, you can put any color you want. You can match it to your store colors, you know, whatever you do, you want to make it so it's nice and eye-catching. Okay, so you can use that. Say you're making 10 thumbnails, you can make one thumbnail like that with your banner on, then you can turn that off, move that back over. You can make the banner at the top, at the side, maybe diagonally, you know, whatever you want to do, but however you do it, it's definitely 100% definitely will get you a lot more clicks on your images, because when people are scrolling, they don't see the title or anything like that. Not everybody uses these banners, and when you do see one, it's definitely a lot more eye-catching, so you'll get that click then to get to your listing. Okay, and you can also use it for just straight sizing, because they're not always the right size for Etsy, so you can just drop your photographs in, save them, and bang, you've got it the perfect size. Okay, thanks guys, and I'll catch you in the next